G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today we're going to be flashing Betaflight onto our flight controllers. So I've got a couple of builds coming up, and I just got these flight controllers in the post today. I've got to put Betaflight on them, so I thought I'll show you guys how it's done. So you're going to need your flight controllers, a micro USB cord, and your laptop or whatever you're using. Now, why would you want to use Betaflight? Well, pretty much in my personal opinion, it is fantastic to fly with. I flew with base flight, then clean flight, and then once I tried Betaflight, the hype was real. The PID seemed locked in, rock solid, no wobbles or oscillations, just fantastic. Definitely the way of the future. So if you haven't tried Betaflight, you've got no excuses. Alright, I'll show you how it's done. Alright, now the flight controller I'm using is the Naze 32, so we're going to open these up. All we have to do is connect it with the micro USB port just here, so it goes in one side, and we're going to plug the other end into our computer. So I'm just plugging my Naze into my computer just here, so that might be installing down here in the corner, and you're going to need to get two things. So the first thing you're going to need to do this is clean flight. So I'm just going to type clean flight into Google. And this first one here, CleanFlight, the Chrome web app, that's the one I use. So I've already got that installed on my computer, so I'll be using that in a minute. And the other thing you're going to need is Betaflight. So I'm going to type this in here, and I'm going to go to this one just here, GitHub. And you see you can scroll down once you're on this page, and we are using, because we're using the Naze just here, we need to make sure we get the Naze hex file. So I'm going to click on that and download that. So it started downloading just here, and now we're ready to rock and roll. We'll put it on our flight controller. Downloaded, we're just going to open up our CleanFlight. There's my dog there, excuse him, Charlie. He's grown up quite a bit now, so I'm going to open up CleanFlight. Here it is. Alright, and what you want to do, you want to go to firmware flasher, which is just up here, and then we're going to go down to load local firmware, which is what we're going to be doing. So that's in the bottom right hand corner. Now I've got a few Betaflights on here because I've downloaded quite a few versions to test them out, but you'll have just one, the one you just downloaded. So I'm going to be using this one just here, because that's one I got earlier. And then we're going to click on flash firmware. And hopefully this works. So it'll take a little bit. Don't disconnect anything while it's going through this process. That's very important because that will cause bad things to happen, as it says there in red. And that's it. We've now successfully put Betaflight on our flight controller. Alright, while we're here, I'll show you a few things that I need to do to set up this Naze. Yours may be different depending on what equipment that you're flying. This is spinning around too because I'm moving this. Alright, so I'm going to click on my configuration, and I'm going to make sure I enable one shot because that's what I'm going to use for my ESCs. I'm going to put my board alignment at 90 degrees because I have my USB on the left hand side of my craft. The other part that's important is selecting your receiver mode. So I use PPM for my D4R2, so that's with my Tyrannus, so make sure you put PPM on if you're doing that. Alright, then I'm going to come down here and hit save and reboot. Alright, so all those settings are saved, and the other thing that's really important that some people can sometimes get stuck on when they start is click over to your receiver tab just here, and make sure, if you're like me and you fly a Tyrannus, make sure you click on this one down here, the JR Spectrum, because that's how it maps our channels. Just there, TAER 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how we actually fly if you use a D4R2 and a Tyrannus. Alright, I'm going to click save. And that's it, we're all good. We've put Betaflight on here. This is going to be ready to rock and roll. There's a few more PID settings and things I'm going to change depending on what craft and what things I put in here. But hopefully that helps some of you guys out there who are wondering how easy it is to get into Betaflight. So that's it. That's how easy it is to put Betaflight on your flight controller. You've got no excuses. Go out there, if you're wondering or sitting on the fence, get it done because it's definitely worth it. Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying.
Hey Charlie, you want to put Betaflight on? Do you want to put Betaflight on the quads?